So in case you missed it, recently the Minecraft movie dropped its final trailer before its release in April 4th, and I'll be honest, it still looks incredibly weird. Now, I don't want to paint this movie in a negative light before I've seen it, however I'm really struggling to find any positives from the trailers that we've seen so far. I mean, we've literally got Stifler's mum hitting a villager before we got GTA 6. That is mental to me. So as we touched on in the last video we made on this, I think that visually this movie just looks so weird still. Like, the combination of live action characters and the animation just doesn't work for me. It makes the animation look really out of place and the live action characters look weird as anything anyway. I mean, you've got Jason Momoa, who is still dressed up as Dora the Explorer. He's obviously in the movie to be comic relief and whatever, but I can't comprehend what they're trying to do with him. Unless if he's playing some really niche Minecraft character skin, which I don't know about, which there's potential because I'm not fully into Minecraft, but still, it just looks so out of place. I do think that Jack Black and the kids look relatively normal for a Minecraft movie, however I do find it really funny that they've cast arguably the roundest actor in the world to play a block figure. That's hilarious to me. I just don't necessarily know if it's suitable for a movie like this. Personally, I think that this would really benefit from having like a full cast of teens, which realistically is probably way more relatable to the Minecraft audience than, say, Jack Black is. I get that they need like the star power of Jack Black, because, you know, all like mid-teen kids care about that, but to me I genuinely think that having just sort of a teen-centric story would probably better fit the Minecraft media itself. I guess we'll have to wait and see what the actual movie entails to come to a conclusion on that, but either way, having any of these characters in live action is still incredibly weird. Like when you compare it to things like the Mario movie, for example, imagine that having Chris Pratt running around in a Mario costume. It just doesn't work. It's so weird to think, and it looked visually spectacular. There's no reason why Minecraft couldn't have emulated something like that. Circling back around to the target audience of this game, I do fully appreciate that Minecraft is probably now played by sort of younger teens or those sort of first getting into gaming. However, maybe it's just my opinion on this, but to me, the majority of people that would have played Minecraft when it was at its peak, at its biggest and best, would probably be sort of in their mid to early 20s now. So having a film so childish kinda puts them off any sort of nostalgia that they might have with the game itself. Again, I appreciate it's an incredibly popular series still, and it is going to be aimed at children because of course it would be. It's the most bright and colourful and vibrant and ADHD-filling movie ever. But I feel like there should at least be something on offer for older audiences. The best types of movies are able to entertain both the masses and their respective target audience. So, for example, if you look at the Sonic trilogy, they're really good for Sonic fans, but if you're just a general fan of movies, or Jim Carrey in that case, you do quite like them. Maybe they'll be able to emulate this with Jack Black, because he does have that similar sort of star pull, but I just can't see it happening given the trailers that we've seen so far. This movie seems to be so focused on the childish aspects, which I guess is what that majority audience would be. However, it just seems like a slightly wasted opportunity to appease older fans as well. Speaking of appeasing fans, it does look as if with the second trailer they're really trying to highlight how much of the game stuff they are incorporating, not just like the actual elements of it, but as in like niche little scenarios. So for example, like emptying the water bucket when you land to not have any fall damage, or things like elytras and stuff like that. Like, it is quite cool. It's niche things that proper fans of Minecraft are going to understand and like the little reference to. However, my main fear with this is that the movie is just going to become Jack Black doing a little bit of a show and tell of these references in the game, which don't actually hold any relevance to the narrative or anything. It's literally just a case of going like, hey, there's a zombie chicken rider, remember that in the game that happens every once in 1,000 goes? Like, I appreciate them actually making these references, and that is cool if you are familiar with them, but they need to hold some sort of weight to the narrative. You can't just use buzzwords and like little trigger phrases and have fans lap it up. And I can really see that being what this movie will sort of devolve into. Kind of like with the Resident Evil movies, where you had Mila Jovovich as the main character and you just pull a random ass video game character as the side piece. Like, there was no reference or no relevance to them being in the movie, it's just, oh, they were in the games, let's put them in the movie. It didn't actually hold any weight or any relevance. And speaking of video game movies in a more general sense, obviously I think it's fair to say that they are usually pretty arse. Again, when you look at things like the Resident Evil franchise, Assassin's Creed, Doom, even more recent ones with things like Borderlands, a lot of them do suck. However, there are bright sparks with the likes of the Sonic trilogy and Mario that have been really solid. The main thing I can't understand at the minute with video games movies is that it seems like they all have to incorporate Jack Black. Now, I really like Jack Black, genuinely, part of Tenacious D and all that. I think he's fantastic. But I really don't like the recent obsession with him being a part of every single video game movie adaptation. I know we had him as Bowser and he did really well and it worked well in that movie, but then we also had him as Claptrap and it was just a hard watch. I don't know, I just sense there's a running theme with having Jack Black in these movies because he is such an avid and out there gamer and a popular figure. But to me, he's getting roles where there's just no need for him to have them. Like, for example, the role of Steve. All that being said though, as I did mention in my last video, I am holding a slight slither of hope for this movie still, just based on the fact that Jared Hess is the director. Now, if you're not familiar with him, he did direct and produce Napoleon Dynamite, which is a bit of a cult classic and is a very funny movie. So if there's any emulation of the humour in that within this movie, which I very much doubt given the different sort of audiences, that would be cool, but it's a very fleeting piece of hope, if I'm being completely honest. Other than that though, what do you guys think? Will you be watching this movie? I'll be honest, despite all the criticism I have given it, I will definitely be going and checking it out just to see the spectacle of it, to see potentially how big of a train wreck it's going to be. It's kind of like a car crash, right? Like, you shouldn't look, but you also can't quite look away at the same time. Anyway, it could also be really positive, let's bear that in mind. Let me know all your thoughts down below, and if you are new here and you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Thanks ever so much for watching, I'll hopefully see you in another video sometime soon.